Hasn't caught up yet. Hi y'all, we're live. I forgot to
Hello.
check the phone and do the YouTube things because I know that this stupid thing doesn't catch up with everything. So it's always like 5 minutes before I see anybody pop into the
Oh,
chat,
that's
and I get like panicked. I'm like, nobody's here.
no one's watching.
Nobody cares.
Why
And
did
I'm
we
such a
do
nerd.
this?
I'm like, I came here and nobody loves me. But while I wait for this to refresh, I just wanted to, first of all, thank my guest, Danielle Perry, for showing up. For those of y'all that don't know, she has a wonderful beauty YouTube channel, and we have been friends for a very long time, which I
Yes.
didn't realize how long it was until recently. And I was telling Danielle behind the scenes, and I've told Tony this as well, who was my first guest, that we're so focused, I think, a lot in the beauty YouTube sphere on hi Isabel, on being beautiful with our makeup, and we know that we're attractive without our makeup, but I think we don't spend enough time doing that on channels and stuff, because there's always like a transformation. If I show up without any makeup on my face, I'm about to put makeup on my face, and this is just like a nice way for us to hang out and have our skincare done and be ready for bed afterwards, and just hang out with y'all and say hello and be friendly and whatnot. Hey, honey 2800 is here. Flora Lisa's here. Carly's dance. Sharon, hey. So what have you been up to lately before I was late to this whole thing?
Today I didn't do much. My husband and I went to the store and I was like, screw it, I'm not cleaning today. It's not happening. I was supposed to
I
like clean the
know.
kitchen. I was like, no, not gonna do it.
You
Not
told me
happening.
that. You were like, all I've got to do today is clean. And I was like,
We
on Saturday?
Well, it's literally the only day like that we have available to us because Sundays we often like spend time with family and stuff, and that's usually planned out. And today I was like, our house needs to be cleaned, and then I was like, I'm not doing it today. I'll figure out another time. I was like, screw that.
See, that's another fabulous thing is that you're married. You're a married lady.
Yes.
And I did see the proposal when it happened, and I was like,
Oh,
you
that
were like so shocked. I'd have like, why are you surprised?
I wasn't really sure what was going on. Everyone had told me that, hey, I think he's going to propose this weekend. I was like, no, he's not. I'm like, whatever, we're going to the Grand Canyon. I've always wanted to go there. He had a different plan, but that was at the height of coronavirus when everything
Yes.
came out. And that ended up being canceled, which is fine. The Grand Canyon is beautiful. And we went and he proposed. And I even think I told him to shut up during
You
it.
did.
And he's like, you told me to shut up. And I was like, I did? I don't remember doing this. I like blacked out for a minute.
I
But
remember that. I
everyone,
swear I saw that. The baby were like, shut up.
I was, but it was also just like I wasn't expecting it. And then finding out that my parents had known for a month and my mother didn't say anything to me, I was shocked by that because that woman cannot keep a secret to save her life. She thinks she can, but she can't,
Oh
especially
my
with me.
gosh.
I mean, I know my Christmas gifts like months in advance. I'm like, oh, okay. Great.
I'm not I don't think I'm really good at keeping secrets, but that's also because I have ADHD. So if you tell me not to tell somebody, I immediately put it in like a dump file in my brain where I'm like, forget this immediately, and then it just like goes away. The sad part about that though is if you come back a few months later being like, hey, remember that time I told you? I'm like, I do not. Refresh my memory. Hi, Sherry.
Well, and it's also kind of funny because my mom has a habit of talking about weddings anyway. She loves weddings. She does wedding flowers for people all the time.
Oh.
So she would bring stuff up about weddings, and I was just like, whatever. She talks about this stuff all the time. Now looking back, I'm like, you knew. How did you know?
How did you keep this secret? I burst like when I know stuff. Like I'm the kind of person where if I buy you a gift, you have to open it right there. Like it's
Mhm.
not something where it's like, oh, I'm gonna open it when you. And anybody who's done that to me before, like, oh, I was gonna open it when I got home. I'm like, no, you're gonna open it now because I'm here now. And it's the same way. Like if I mail you something and I'm like, I mailed you a secret, and you're like, okay. And then when you're like, oh, I got your package, I'm like, okay, did you open it? Oh no, I was gonna no, open it now. Like I have to know now. Hey Raven.
That's how I get with things too, where I'm like, open it, open it. Like I am the biggest kid on like Christmas or for other people's birthdays. I'm like, I got you something, open it.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Isn't that weird? Like I don't understand why I'm like that. I don't know what it is about, like every time I send somebody anything, it's like you have to open it immediately and tell me, because I guess I have to see your reaction.
Mhm.
Because if I see your reaction in the moment, I know whether or not you truly liked it. I think that might be it. So then, like, if I can see that you like actually don't like it, I'm like, oh fuck. And then, but the good thing is I remember not to get that again.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of that's my thing too. Or I like to know what people want. Like I'm like, don't just tell me anything. I want to get you something that you actually
Yeah.
want.
Yeah, I don't like if I'm either getting things for people that they actually want or like things like there's a particular Christmas gift that I'm making for a friend of mine and they don't know it. But when I'm done and they get it, they're going to be like, I think they're going to be really stunned by it because it's like something I'm making, but not like I'm super crafty. But this is
That's
something that
awesome
I'm like
though.
kind of putting together where I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Oh my God, it's
I
a lot.
my husband's the worst with gifts. He's like, I don't know, I just buy things for myself. And I'm like, stop doing that. People want to actually get you something.
That is true. A lot of men are like that, though. It's
hmm
weird.
hmm He's just like, I'm just gonna buy it for myself, or like get me a gift card. I don't know. So
Oh, oh, I do too. If I made something, I'm super excited. Unless it's something that I knew that they wanted and I bought it and they didn't know I was buying it.
mhm.
And then, of course, Mo wants all the mermaid things. If you don't know, Mo does. She has a beauty channel as well, but she also does like magical. If you haven't seen this yet, but she's like these beautiful like yoga sessions in the
Mhm.
morning. That even though I'm not doing yoga, I find them to be super chilled out. Like I'll be there, and sometimes I just don't say anything. I'm just like chilling out in the morning while I'm editing. So I don't want to say anything because I don't want to like break her stride or whatever. And like she'll be like, "Hi, Audra," and then I'll hear it while I'm editing and get confused. And I realize that after a little while. So I was like, Mo, I've been here, but like I don't like to say anything while I'm editing because I'll get confused.
I feel that. I feel that. I often am like watching people's lives and I'm like, I've been here the whole time, but I'm not going to say anything. I do that to you a lot. Like I'll be on.
You know what
I'm like in the
though?
background working.
It depends. Like, so a lot of my friends are YouTube folk, and I get nervous sometimes. I don't like I get nervous when people are like, "Hi, Audra." I'm like, "Huh." I just start like ducking. So like I get nervous about saying things. So I do kind of lurk. I
That's
started
yeah.
lurking in people's chats because like I have friends who are very wonderful and they'll like, shout me out on their channel or whatever, which is awesome. But at the same time, I get like super nervous and stressed about it. So like I just don't want to take attention away from whatever's happening. So I just like sit and lurk.
That's kind of I'm like, I don't want to be mentioned or talked about because
Night,
I
Cherry. Sorry.
it's just oh, you're fine. I'm like watching the chat over here and not I don't see it all the time. So, you know.
No, it's fine. No, but you don't have to pay attention to this. Have you ever used StreamYard before?
I have not. So,
It's kind of cool. So this is like a cool little thing. Like you can do a free version. I think you get like 20 hours on the free live stream. But it's really kind of cool in that you have all these like little features and you can see the chat. And as long as you have mods, you're golden. You just need to make sure you have mods because you can't do it in here. You can't like make people mods in here as far as I can tell.
mhm.
But if you already have them, like Eeyore over here is like she's doing wonderful things like popping people's channels in. So that is fantabulous. So it makes everything like just easier. But yeah, it's like this fun thing. Hello, darling. She's late to the party is here. I am sweating profusely. I'm so sorry. I've literally like taken my shirt and it is now like it's on the back of like I've wrapped it around the back of the chair so that there's like open space between me and the shirt. Does that make sense? Like,
Yes,
like,
yes, that makes sense. I've done that before where I'm like, oh, it's really hot. Or I'll stick a fan behind me and have it like
yes.
blow up my shirt.
Yes, that's the weirdest thing about filming is like people don't realize how hot it actually does get. And I didn't
The
think that it did
lights.
get hot. And then I started realizing it does. Like when I actually got
Mhm.
lighting, I was like, fuck.
Yeah,
I'm so hot.
that's why my like I have two box lights and they're pushed as far back as I can in this room because they're hot. I'd die.
Yeah. Yeah. The sweat. Hey Alex. Hey ALK Beauty. I've never been able to say that all together.
ALK. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I started just saying it out, but I didn't want to be rude and ever say it out loud, which now I've said it out loud. I'm so sorry. But, but because like there's people's channels where I can't, it's something about the alliteration, or if I know people's names, like Smoky Glow, I've just gotten into the habit of calling her Hannah.
Hmm.
So if I'm talking about her channel or something, I keep saying Hannah, and I don't know why that is. I think it's because like I try to think of her as a person, so it's weird.
Yeah, I try to do that. Like for you, I'm always like, oh, I'm going on Audra's channel. Like when you were Audra Rowdy Girl, I don't think I ever
Yeah.
really said your channel name to
No.
other people, and I was like, I hope they know who I'm talking about. I was like, I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, because like so here's the thing: when we started YouTube around the same time, I feel like, and I remember we started in the days of like doing giveaways and like calling yourself like having MUA in your fucking
Yep.
IG title for like no reason, and you are literally one of the few people that I am still friends with from that whole thing because I feel like even as your channel grew and at the time like mine really wasn't, I just never felt like you were like fuck you, I got better than you and just like bounced. And I feel like a lot of people did that, and I was just kind of like looking at like, oh, all right, well I'll be down here.
Yeah, I've had some experience with that where I'm like, okay, you're just gonna drop me as a friend because you're doing better than I am? Like, what the hell's that
Yeah.
about? And I don't know. I came onto YouTube more looking for friends and a community than I did
Yeah.
like trying to get my channel to I don't know, however many subscribers because that's not really my thing. I'm not
Yeah.
here for that.
Yeah, I know. Like I know that about you because you're just I feel like you were just out here sharing your love of makeup, and I always appreciated that, and I never felt like, and still don't, but it's just amazing when I was actually sitting there thinking about it, and I was like, oh my god, it's like been 4 years, and it's like
Crazy.
holy shit. Oh, Flora Lisa's remembering.
All for MUA stuff. I don't think I ever put that anywhere. I was like, I am not a makeup artist. I'm still like, not a makeup artist.
Well, like I was certified for about 2 years, and like because I got the certification, it was good for a certain period of time. So it was just that was a wild ass time now that you think about it, because I remember I was like with these people, I don't remember all their handles now, but like we did like a group giveaway, and like you would buy like a thing and everybody would send it to one, and it was just like this because the whole thing was about gaining followers.
Mhm.
And if I knew now, like if I knew now, then like I can never say that the right way. What is it? If I knew now what I knew then, do if I knew then what I know now.
Yeah,
That's
like yeah,
it.
yeah. But it's just it's kind of one of those things where like I don't I wish that I hadn't because I in the beginning you start doing that like I'll subscribe to you if you subscribe to me thing
Yep.
because you don't know. And now
Yeah.
looking back, I'm like, why did I do that? I'm like, I want
Yes.
people to actually want to watch me, not because
Yes.
all of those people, I'm gonna be honest, that I just like sub for, I'm not following them anymore
Yeah.
because I
I'm not
have no
either.
interest in their content. It
Well,
just
and
wasn't
also a
my
lot of them
thing.
don't even have channels anymore.
I know. Or they've
Like,
changed their channels. There's a few of them
yeah.
that went to family vlogging, and I was like,
No,
really?
thank you.
You did that?
Yeah, it was like if I knew that, like not it. the follow is such a horrible idea, because when I started like thinking about it mathematically, and I was just like, okay, and I don't even like math, but I had to start thinking about it mathematically, and I was like, Sharon, I don't think that there is an after party here, not on my side. um, I'm like, my after party consists on I'm probably going to edit another video. I had a video that I was going to upload today, but I didn't, because it just seemed like in the light of RBG, I didn't want to. But I just felt like that was such a weird time. And so I looked at it mathematically, and I realized that, like, okay, like, let's just assume each person's video is only 15 minutes long on the dot. And it was like, so that means you can only watch 4 people's videos in an hour. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, if I'm sub for subbing, and I've done this to like 100 people, and I've gained 100 subs, like, there's no possible way I can watch all of their shit. Like, it's just not going to happen. And then I started realizing I wasn't even interested in a lot of their content, which I'm sure they found the same thing about me, but it's so, and you still have people who will say that in like a comment, like, check me out, babes. And like, please don't do that. Do you feel like that? Like,
I will literally be like, thank you. I'm like, what? I'm not going to do it. Like, if I stumble across your channel, I like to stumble across people's channel like in an authentic way, or to have people like suggest a channel going, hey, I really think you'll like this one, versus just being like, subscribe to me because I sub to you, which is happening to me constantly right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, look, it went up and it went back down in the course of a day. I'm like, stop doing that. And it's the same people.
Yeah. And it's such a weird behavior, because again, they don't look at it from a mathematical style and sense, where it's like, baby, here's the thing. Like, I have friends that I watch, and even my friends, I don't get to watch all of their stuff when it comes out. And so I have to like pick and choose on like what I'm gonna watch and when, because I don't, like, the first 24 hours are fairly crucial anyway. So it's like I have to try to figure out what I'm going to smash into like all of my time that I have available to like watch people's stuff. And I'm sorry, like, please stop asking people to sub underneath their channels. It's very rude, one. Unless it has something to do with it. Like, for instance, if you're doing a review and they're like, oh, I didn't like it either, I tried it on my channel, and like that's organic enough for me to be like, and I've checked out people's channels because of that. Yeah. But I hate the way people would do that, like, sub for sub, and people are still doing it now, and you're like, it doesn't work. It is a nightmare.
Well, and there's been a few times where I've commented under people's things going, I don't know what you're trying to accomplish, but this is going to tank your channel. It just is. Your analytics become a whole mess when you do that. Yeah. Because you're going to have people who are going to start off watching your videos and then just slowly just be subscribed to you and never watch a video again.
I know. And they don't realize it's like, yeah, if you gain 500 subs because you sub for subbed, like, if only 20 of those people are regularly watching your channel, it hurts you so much, because there's literally only 20 people who are watching you. And I don't get that kind of weird mentality. So it was just always like a weird thing that continues. It's weird that this is still happening, but it's like, ugh.
Well, you would think that people would learn, or like Amy was talking about a Facebook group that I used to, that one. I used to be a part of that, and I was like, oh, this is a great thing. No, it's not. It really isn't. It's the most annoying thing ever. It doesn't work.
Yes. Because they would be like, you can post a video, but you have to comment on somebody else's video. I was like,
it was more work than it was worth. And half the time, some of those people didn't even follow through on their end. And I'm like, why am I giving you watch time? Like, I don't even like your video. You made a video about making spaghetti. I don't care. Like, you know?
Well, it's so hard, because like, I don't think everybody understands that, like some people were literally sitting there and they're like, hey, so like, I have this Humps lotion. I'm going to put it on my hands. And you were just sitting there like,
what is this?
And you were like trying not to be rude, but you're like, I can't, like, I am so uninterested. You're like, maybe it's going to get better. Like, And it never did. And it was just them being like really awkward. And you would like watch a few videos hoping that maybe like that would change. They were just, it never did. And you were like, I can't do this anymore. I'm so sorry. I can't watch your, like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know why. Like they were just like so stiff. And I'm just like, literally look at the camera. I thought you're talking to a friend and you just be like, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? Let's do this. Let's have some fun. Let's do like, but they would just be sitting there like, so what we're going to do is we're going to put on my foundation. Wait, we got to put the primer first, the primer. And you just like, and this was even before we really knew about editing. So I got that. Like I had videos that were hella awkward. One of my most like watched beauty videos is a skincare video that is in the dingiest lighting in like my old place where I lived in a bedroom. And like there's just jump cuts and it's like me sitting on a bed talking about this serum.
I was watching one of my older videos because I was like, oh, this will be fun to react to. And I was watching it. I was like, no, this needs to be private now. I was like, oh, God.
I have a video that's private that only like those who are my closest, like deepest, dearest friends are allowed to see. And it's like, you have to be in a bad way for me to show you this because it is the cringiest, most awkward thing. I was so glad I went back and was like looking through my catalog because I was like, private, that shit's on private. And it is on private, like nobody.
Mine's like a makeup tutorial and like the lighting is just awful. I'm so awkward in it. And I was just like, why did I leave this up? And I was like, no wonder it has 9,000 dislikes. I would dislike it too. I was like, I can't do it.
Like, I look at some of these, like some of my old content, and most of it I actually really do enjoy. Like, there's a lot of it where I enjoy it. Like, you can tell that I went through those, like, I'm trying to be a YouTuber phase where I was like, I gotta be just like everybody else. I've got to be cheerful. I can't say the F word. And I've got to look like I have my life together, which clearly I didn't at that point in time. I was going through a divorce. I lived in a bedroom in a house with my old friend who used to want to date me, and he was a total douchebag. And then like this weird old man who got hookers.
Well, at least he was getting some. I mean,
he was. It was just a little awkward at times when I'm like walking. I'm like,
you're like, oh, okay, that's going on right now. Great.
Yeah, it was just. It was a little bit awkward. Like I was always like, can you just let me know that they're coming through, because like I just don't want to like run in, like it's nothing again. I just don't want to think about you doing that.
Yeah.
I just don't want to think about you doing anything sexual. Like you probably your whole channel.
Oh my gosh. Now I'm also contemplating if I should go back on even older videos, like some of the other ones, and be like, nope, you're private. I did private all of my videos with my ex in them because I was like, no, and some of them I deleted. I was like, bye.
Yeah, I can understand that. Like, I use Wondershare Filmora. What do you use to edit?
I use Power Director, Cyberlink Power Director.
Oh my God, I don't even know what that is. I've seen it though. I think I've seen it.
I have it on my phone and I have it on my laptop, and I really like it. I've gotten used to all of the features, and then they went and updated it, and now I'm relearning the whole flipping thing.
I hate that when they do that. Like, Wondershare is pretty easy, and now, like, actually it's easier since they updated it. Like, once I started kind of figuring out how to fuss with it, so now I'm just like do, 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 do. But yeah, there's videos I had to private because and it's so funny because up until I was watching, I think it was Hannah's video, I think it was, when she was doing like her Jeffree Star cosmetics thing. I guess like what is the the rise and fall. I don't know if that's what she called it, but it was
something like that. I watched that one too. So
it was weird because I didn't realize that, like, I stopped beating myself up about like having purchased Jeffree Star. Like I bought like 2 liquid lips and having like defended him at points, because I realized, like, as she started going through the timeline between her and D'Angelo, I started to realize that I was like, oh, okay, he, like, shit was just starting to pop off with his brand at that time. And all of this other stuff was just stuff that, like, I really wasn't aware of because I was fairly new to YouTube at that point. And I was still kind of fairly new to makeup. I had kind of thought I was going to do some like skincare type things and a little bit of makeup. But then it was like, it was just a weird, so I didn't feel bad anymore because but I did private videos where I was like defending him because it, like, I was obviously talking out of the left side of my mouth and I didn't know what was going on, but he was really good at that reinvention thing. So I just was like, let me hide that shit. The evolution of Jeffree Star. That's it.
Yeah. I don't think I have any defending him, but I did have 2 eyeshadow palettes that I ended up getting rid of. Because a subscriber sent them to me because they really wanted me to try his products, because they were like, you just have to try them so you know what they're like. And I was like, okay, fine. And there's a few videos where I have him up using them. But I think in all of those videos, I kind of say how horrible of a person I think he is. But at the beginning of my channel, I was so interested in his brand because that's who I started watching, because everyone else was watching him. And then I was like, something's off. I don't know. I got weird vibes from him.
I did too. You know, I think that, like, he just gave me, I took care of it, y'all. He just gave me like massive creep vibes and I did not like it. And I was just like, absolutely not. It just really wasn't a thing I was going to deal with because I didn't. And I think, like, that's what I realized. I was like, oh, this is why I'm so outspoken about him now, because I realized that, like, he was able to reinvent himself by, you know, the way that he was portrayed in drama channels and all of this stuff. So that it had me thinking that, like, oh, he apologized and like, derp, derp, derp. And then you find out later, like, that's not true. So it just like made me feel some kind of way. And like, but then I started feeling, okay, I'm not an asshole. Like, this was all happening at this point. And so watching her timeline kind of made me feel less like shit, less gullible.
Well, I think he convinced a lot of people of that, and just kind of like the way he reinvented himself and just kind of like he lied out. He just lied. So
I know, it still does.
Like,
it's like,
yeah. And it's not a good look, and people are starting to realize that. Like, I appreciate people who bought him in the past are like, hey, I'm not going to do that anymore because of this. Like, realize.
Yeah, because there are channels that I've definitely, like, that are kind of on a probationary list for me. Like, not like they give a shit, but like they're on a probation list. Because I'm just like waiting, because I know that they were avid buyers and reviewers, and I just can't really, like, I can't support their channels. There's a lot of different makeup brands where I can still, you know, watch your channel, watch you try the makeup, but regardless of the fact that I don't buy it. But there's certain stuff that I can't abide by, and that's going to be one of those things. So I won't, and I don't. Yeah. So then I have a question for you. Besides beauty YouTube, what other YouTube do you watch?
I watch a lot of let me bring up my here.
I know, surprise question.
Like, I watch a lot of stuff with like differing of opinions. I also found this channel about the Bruderhof, which is a religious kind of like commune, and I'm fascinated by it. I have never heard of this in my life, and it just popped up on my home screen, and I was like, what is this? And it's this Christian commune, and it's just fascinating. I'm like, I would never want to be a part of this. They don't use money. They help each other. Like, it's just fascinating. I'm like, how do you survive? So,
and now you're just like,
I'm hooked.
In. Oh my god!
And I also watch Mr. Atheist, Jimmy Snow. I watch a lot of things that I don't know. I find myself kind of in this like middle realm. I am a religious person, but I also want to hear what other people think. So
Yeah.
I watch a lot of differing of opinions and things. And he was actually part of the same religion that I'm currently part of. So I find it fascinating and just all of that. I don't know. It drives my husband crazy because he's like, how can you watch people that you're not sure if you agree with? And I'm like, I don't know. I like to be challenged. It's fun.
That
So
is so funny. Isabel came in and said, Audra, what non-beauty content do you watch? Danielle, commune YouTube.
I watch really weird stuff. I go down rabbit holes and it's just, yeah. I also watch like, it was the first thing that popped up and I was like, oh, I do watch this. And then
Never.
I also watch like a lot of like book reviews and things like that, as well as a lot of Harry Potter content because I do love Harry Potter, which,
I think a lot of people love Harry Potter.
yeah,
You know what I
that,
discovered I hate?
what?
The mockingbird, the catching fire, the whatever that
Yeah,
is. I
yeah,
hate that. I
yeah.
hate it with every fiber of my being. I spent countless hours randomly watching it. And by the time I got to the end, I was just like, this is the worst series ever created. And I don't know why they made this into a movie.
Well, and it's
Like it ends just like with a poof. Like
mhm,
it
mhm.
goes through with like such fire and brimstone. And then it just Hunger Games. There you go, Isabel.
Yeah.
And then it just ends with like,
I don't even watch, or I didn't even watch the last movie. I was like, there's no point. There's no point. I'm done. Um, yeah, zero.
yeah, it was terrible. I didn't like I watch so I booktube and there's coffee YouTube. This is weird. I mean, it's
What?
not weird. YouTube is very interesting. There's a coffee YouTube apparently. There's like a space where you just because Carly's dance said I randomly watch coffee YouTube. I never knew you could be critical of to-go cups.
What is? I need to see this. I want to see people critiquing like
Yes.
to-go cups. Now I'm interested. I'm
Right?
intrigued. I watch. I'm telling you, when I'm not watching beauty YouTube, it is like the weirdest stuff ever. I'm like, ooh, what's this? Or I love watching Christian conspiracy theories.
Oh my God, you just said you're going into a new realm. You're like Christian conspiracy theories and communes.
Yeah, it's weird. I know. I can't help it. It's just like this weird fascination I have. I don't know. It's a problem. It really is.
Well, it sounds like you're interested in human behavior, so there's really like
Yeah.
nothing like that's cool. I mean, I watch a lot of like music YouTube, like the punk rock MBA or horror YouTube. So like Ryan Hollinger, that man. Every time he goes, however, I'm like, I just died. Like he's like because he's I believe he's from Northern Ireland and it's like a different accent than just like regular Irish. I
Now,
don't know what to
I'm not a big horror fan. I actually hate being scared like so much. So like whose video did I watch? Oh my gosh. I watched somebody's video because I was like, "Oh, this sounds interesting." And then afterwards I was like, "I can't sleep now. Thank you."
He does like long form videos like diving into the interesting like the actual like he just dives into the introspective side of the movie, which is fun and amazing. And he is cute. He's redheaded. Y'all know how I feel about redheaded men. So anyway, he's redheaded. And I like his voice and I like his take on horror, and horror is like my favorite thing. So I'm either watching him, Spooky Astronauts. I also watch Spooky Rice, and then obviously like the punk rock MBA is like my favorite to watch with regards to music because he does all these breakdowns of like what killed pop punk, and like if you like music, like he's great.
I will have to check that out because I love music. I listen to a lot of music and I listen to a lot of music I don't think people expect me to listen to, or maybe they do. I don't know. I just listen to everything.
Yeah, I think that people think that I spend all day because here's what happens. Like I get really tired at some point of beauty YouTube.
Hmm.
Like,
Same.
because I still consume it, right? Like, I still, like, I can't say, like, I'm tired. I still consume it because obviously it's important to know what's going on and who's, like, doing what and all this kind of stuff. But, like, for the most part, I watch my friends. I don't watch, like, random ass channels. And then if they don't drop some shit when I'm like in the mood, I had to learn to start watching other stuff because I started getting mad at it. Like I genuinely start getting mad at people when I'm like, can one of you have a video because it's 2 a.m. on Tuesday and I need something to do.
Or like, okay, I'm notorious for like scrolling through my like subscriptions and being like, none of this interests me today. Okay, let's go see what's going on this random part of YouTube. So I'll like.
YouTube is so weird. Like it's just, I think it's a weird thing because I think somebody else had said it, like YouTube is becoming like cable, and it is like you just anything that you want to do or find out, like these days, if a sponsor, like if somebody contacts you, if a company contacts you, you just type it into YouTube and you're like, da, 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 da. And then like I have some people that I could actually ask, like I asked Jen, I asked some other folks like, on occasion, like, hey, have you heard of this company and what should I do? And then like they usually help me out because you have to really start talking to other people and asking questions because sometimes like you don't know how sketchy a company is until like you talk to other people because especially right now I'm unemployed and so there's stuff that's like tempting for me to be like I'm gonna do it and then I'm like I'm not gonna do it. I don't care how much money you give me right now. Like I get that I'm gonna have to pay bills like but I can't do it.
Well, it kind of comes down to like unfortunately with YouTube, you're a brand yourself. So like what you represent becomes who people associate you with. So you can't just grab onto anything.
Yeah. Like what was people fail blog watching people fall down?
Oh my gosh. I've watched a few of those where people are just it's so bad. I see random shit like that. That's I'm there for it.
See, Dragon Rebel, here's the thing. You can do that on TikTok. Like you can do that like on TikTok, somebody says some shit and then you can respond to it within like you can make the video and respond and link the video. So it's like that was cool. Because like right now there's just people who are like I get very frustrated because I sit there and I'm just like, yo, did you really come over to my channel to like put this long ass comment? Like I don't care. Like this is what kills me is I'm like I don't care. Like just an entire paragraph on why I'm wrong about not liking a product and I'm like knock knock, who's there? I don't care. Like
I have a whole video up on my channel that I just want to react to the comments to it because it cracks me up because I did not like this specific palette and the video has over 2,000 views and like almost equal likes to dislike ratio. Like it's a hot mess. And the comments in there are like, this is a fucking joke, right? This is this. Like, how dare you? And I'm like, I don't like it. It didn't work for me. I did 6 looks with the damn thing. What more do you want from me? I'm sorry I didn't use the brushes you thought I should. I'm just like, whatever. So it's up there. And I appear to go in and I'm just like, you felt the need to leave that comment. You could have just disliked it and walked away.
Yeah, I mean, like, so as told by Kenya just recently, I don't know if you've seen her video, but she talked about like, do stands ruin makeup brand, like celebrity makeup releases? The answer is yes, by the way. Like the answer is yes. And we're seeing it with the Rare Beauty because I don't know if you're following this on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Because I thought it was weird, even when people were saying, oh, it's for people with mobility issues. Here's the thing. So from time to time, I have weird issues where like I just lose like strength in my hand. I don't know why. I should see a doctor, but I never have time because when I was working, I was always too busy working to go see a doctor. So like I just open things like this, right? And like that way I just kind of press it in here and push in and then twist it because then that way like I don't have to actually use any strength in my hand and wrist because it usually fails like right in here and I just don't know what happens. It just goes boop and I'm like, oh my God, what happened to your hand? And I'm sure it probably has to do with like, I don't know, my motorcycle accident, the scar I still have right here, but I have those issues and I just thought like, but it doesn't, but it clicks closed. So I was already kind of like dubious about it because I was like, but it clicks closed. And anything that clicks closed is definitely, it's definitely not for people with mobility issues. Because if you can't click it closed, then, and like, why would you want something that didn't close? Like your foundation's just gonna be dry.
Yeah.
Like everything in there, like all your liquid products are going to be dry. So if you have like cream, like they're going to be dry within a month if you can't actually close it. The air just keeps getting into it.
Well, and I don't really understand why people like, you can like a celebrity, but like everything that they get behind isn't always correct,
Like,
you know?
yeah.
Or not everyone's going to like it. Not every makeup item works for everyone.
And the weird thing is like somebody, and I was talking to Tony about this as well, and Emily. I don't know if you saw that tweet by somebody who was like so angry, and they were like, just goes to show you so-called beauty gurus don't do their research, right? And then you go into their thread, and they have like just thread after thread after thread, and by the time you get down to the bottom, all of this shit, for them to say, I have studied people with disabilities and mobility issues, and no, the brand didn't say it. And you're like, bitch, excuse me. Well, did you literally sit here and shit all over everybody?
Well, exactly. To do it. It's just like, really, you have nothing better going on in your day. You're just going to continue. I don't know.
Yeah, I just thought it was a weird thing that, like, what bothered me about it was just thread after thread, like the way that she kind of kept breaking it down, the vitriol she spewed towards beauty gurus, not doing research. And then it comes out to like, well, the brand didn't say this. You don't know. You don't have any kind of disability. So you're literally talking out of your entire asshole at this point. And then like calling other people out. You can't stand up here on your lofty mountain of research and it's like fake. Like you're telling me, like at this point you're no better than the beauty gurus you're dogging. You know what I mean? Like you just dogged all the beauty gurus and like you're just like us.
Yeah, I mean, like it just, I don't know. I don't understand that because I've never really been like, oh, I'm going to defend everything everyone's ever done because I like this person. I don't have time for that, for one. Two, people make mistakes or, you know, things don't work for people.
Mm-hmm. And that's the weird thing is like we do like it's because like Jackie Ina had a post, I can't remember when because time is irrelevant at this point in time, but like Jackie Ina had posted saying something to the effect of, I'm sorry that I don't like everything. Like it's a review because it sucks. Like it's so frustrating that you like people, it feels very much like if you don't love a brand that everybody wants you to love, then you're an asshole. But also hate the brand that everybody wants to love so that you're relatable and you're being honest, right? Because if you hate it, then it's like, oh my God, you're so honest. I love you, queen. And then, and you're just like, I hate it so much. And then like, I love you, queen. I can't stand it. I love you so much. You're so honest. But then if you loved it and people didn't want to like, see, this is why I don't trust beauty gurus. And you're like,
what do you want from me? Like, I can't help it.
It was such a weird feeling where you're just kind of stuck being confused about that because you're like, what did you, like, I'm so confused by what you wanted me to do. Like, did you want me to be a person who pretended that I like something that I didn't? Or do you want me to pretend I hate something that I don't hate? Like, what is it that y'all want us to do?
I also kind of think like with that, I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and think about, oh, are my subscribers going to like everything that I like or like trying to gear it to specific people so that I don't get shit on. It's just not worth it. It's not. Yeah.
And the thing about beauty is like, and I don't want to be like, I am not an ableist in any way, but I'm going to tell you the majority of the shit that they make is not helpful for most people with any kind of mobility or hand issues. Like a lot of the clasps are these shitty little clasps like these, or like these little pull ones. So like honestly, like tell me who like they're made this way because it's one, they're trying to protect the product and they don't actually think about like the average person trying to open this shit. But like I lose random feeling and I'm like, ugh. And then like I'm either over strong or not strong enough, so I can bust something open and then it's like, and then I break it, which is how like one of the ways that I broke my Becca. But like I do that all the time. Oh, take care of the babes, Emily Handhead. Well. Look who has arrived. I'm so mean. I'm like, look who has arrived. What you don't understand is that it's a 9:14 p.m. her time. Have I been to Marco Poloing or considering a Marco Polo since this morning? I have. She was in her cave. I was like, I'll see her when she comes out. And what's sad is I was like, this is me being like a bitter ass, but she's one of my best friends in the entire world. So it was like, this is what's gonna happen. This bitch gonna fucking Marco Polo me at like 9:30, being like, hey, I'm awake, I'm alive, and I'm gonna be like, God damn it, I was gonna go to sleep, but now I can't go to sleep because I have so much to tell you. So now let me crack open the wine. Like,
oh my gosh.
This is the problem with being my friend. Like if you sleep all day and then you wake up, it doesn't matter what time it is. I'm like, wait, I will stay awake. I have things to talk about. But I feel like I'm one of those people that regardless of if I'm like always a part of your life and you let me know if I'm right, if you need me, I try to be there and be like, shit's fucking hitting a fan. What do you need from me?
Oh, you are definitely that person. Like there have been things where I'm like, this is going on and you just kind of talk me through it. I mean, I've asked you things before and it's just been it's nice having somebody to be a sounding board and to kind of hear what they're thinking.
Yeah, I think people just need someone to talk to. Like I don't, and not necessarily always try to fix it, but be like, you're amazing and you don't deserve this bullshit. Like,
yeah. I mean, I remember a conversation you and I had when I was just at the beginning of my divorce and I was a whole mess. And you just were kind of like, hey, he shouldn't be treating you like that. This shouldn't be going on. It will be okay. So, I mean, I remember stuff like that. And you've always been a very helpful person and I appreciate that and somebody who I can genuinely talk to.
I'm getting pain water. I'm so sorry. I wasn't expecting to get like a little bit teary. I'm so sorry. I was like, oh.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make you cry. I was just being honest.
I know I wasn't. I'm so sorry. I was like, I think it's like a combination of like you talking and then I like look to the side and then Emily saying nice things. I'm like, I'm not.
Well, Emily's right. You are the best. Truly.
I think a lot of my, like, I generally, first off, I am an empath, but a lot of my empathy generally comes from having been in a situation where I felt like I had nowhere to turn when all of this horribleness was happening in my marriage. And I was just like, I just felt like so stifled and like I was dealing with it all by myself. And I never wanted anybody who knew me to feel like that. Like I just never wanted anyone to ever feel like they had to deal with horrible shit happening to them by themselves. So I'm very much a behind the scenes, like, hey, like people tweet stuff out and then like I'm the kind of person who's like DMing you like, hey, I hope you're all right, like da 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 da, I'm sorry for this, or I'm sorry that this is happening, because I don't like commenting really on like a long thread of personal shit, because I don't like for people, I don't need that there. I like to handle things behind closed doors. But I just, because of that, I think that's what it was. I had been through something similar, and I knew that you had to have those feelings of like that I had, like failure and what did you do wrong, and also that horrible feeling that you couldn't really tell anybody how awful things were. So I just thought I could try to be there for you, and hopeful, like my hope was that you didn't end up feeling like I felt, like completely alone and just like I can't talk to anybody about it. And so I was like, no, I don't want you to feel like that.
Well, when you had reached out to me, I think you reached out at like the best possible moment for me because I really kind of needed that because I I had to move back in with my parents. It was a whole thing. It was not something that I was ready to do or even wanted to do. And my mom kept telling me to calm down, which was like the wrong way to handle that.
I
I was
know.
in no way, shape, or form ready to be calm. I was mad. I was upset. I was like, my best friend can tell you that like she had to literally pull me out of a room while I was moving out because I was ready to smash all the shit. I was
Yeah.
there and like I was out of my mind crazy. So you talking to me and being somebody who's been through a similar situation, it was kind of like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be fine. This is gonna be
Yeah.
fine
Like
because
be angry.
well, both of my parents, when I remember calling my mom and being like, I was an emotional wreck and be like, you need to come get me. He wants to divorce me. I cannot be in the house with him right now. And it wasn't like, it was more like, I just can't be around him because I was so just like out of my mind, kind
Yeah.
of like I wasn't expecting it. It was just like, he looked at me and he goes, I don't love you anymore. I want a divorce, like out of nowhere. And, um, like looking back, I should have saw the signs, but I didn't because I was like, "Oh, everything's fine. We're fine," you know. But all of that and my mom telling me to calm down the whole time because they didn't understand because my parents haven't been divorced. They're still together.
Yeah.
It's kind of unheard of to get divorced being Mormon and all of that stuff. So it's kind of like hey, I'm going through this. But the one thing is like knowing other people who've been through it, who just kind of came around me, like my cousins, both of them have been divorced and things, and they took me out. Like it was a whole kind of finding this community of women who have been through a very similar thing and, hearing their stories and going to therapy and all of that. So that
I
kind
know
of,
when I saw you with your current husband, I was so just like blown away. Like what video was that? Because I can never remember the names of videos, but you had him there, and I was just like, look at! Like, I was so happy for you because like just remembered how much stress you had been going through, and just to have somebody who like looked at you the way that he did and genuinely is like interested in you and what you want out of life, and isn't just like about like what you can do for him. Like it was very like it just made me feel good. I was like, oh,
I
I will be single for life, but you do this.
I absolutely love my husband. Like, I mean, in all honesty, with my ex-husband, there's no way I would have been able to be on here doing a live. Like, he just wouldn't have allowed it. It was a whole thing. He hated me doing YouTube. We would argue about it and stuff. But like Dustin, the guy, my husband now, he's like, "Oh no, you have hobbies. I have hobbies too. While you're doing that, I'm gonna play video games." Like, that's kind of his whole like that'll work.
I'm sorry, I'm getting so happy for you. It just was you had a whole like your channel actually has a whole different vibe than it did. And it's just different to see you like there's a happiness there that doesn't have shadows. I don't know if that hurts your feelings in any way, but there's just like a happiness now that doesn't have any shadows behind it, and it's beautiful.
No, I watched some of my older videos and I can see how unhappy I was and just like how hard I was just trying to um, find a way through those emotions that I was going through. And like it's when I met Dustin, it was a feeling of like I feel like I've known him forever.
Yeah.
Like we're like we like the same things. I mean, we nerd out about Legos. We're like we are
I
nerds
love your
through
Lego
and
nerds.
through. Like I love Legos. I will build Legos all day. So like and he loves it. I got him into that and we have a great time. Like we just love being around each other and it's been fun. I mean, we've been married for 2 months now, which is weird. It feels longer.
I could not like I swear I've probably been in love with the same person for let's see. it was like, what was I, like 22, and now I'm 40, and now we have to do math. I feel like that's 18 years. So I've been in love with the same person for roughly 18 years. But like, I don't think I've just been in love with this person. We're just not gonna do the things. But like, I'm in love. Like, I'm just always gonna be in love with the dude. But it's okay. It doesn't like make me like sad or cry. I'm just like, it is what it is. And when like I feel we spend time together, it's wonderful and it's lovely. And then like, then we don't. And then I'm like, and I just kind of go on with my life and date and do the things and whatever. But now it's 2020, and it's like, are you gonna? Are we gonna die together or what? Because like that's coming up soon.
We're gonna die together. Let's do this.
That's how I feel. Like, we gonna die together or what? Because like that's soon. Like the end of the world is on its way. So it's just like, I mean, I know it's not, but like, is it? But like, but it's just wonderful to see you in this space where you're just like so bright and so happy. And I just never want anyone to ever, like, when you're my friend, like, I'll kind of fuck up the world for you. Like, that's how I am with my friends. Like, things are going to get destroyed. I will set things on fire. Like, these people need to understand, because like my friends become part of my family. Right. Yes. So it's like, I am the friend who calls, like, ask my friend Trista, who like calls your ex, like, if you fucking hurt her, I will find you and I will fucking kill you. Like, and they're like, and then like that happened. And I really did like go after it. And I was like, I told you not to fuck with her. Look what you've done. You're going to reap what you sow. And he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm like, curse is already done, sir. Leave me alone. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. But it's just like, people don't realize that about me, where it's like, if you hurt my friends, like I will move heaven and earth to make sure that you are destroyed by the time I am finished. It's not a pretty process, but it still happens, and it's what you deserve.
Well, and I mean, I have friends where I'm that person for them, where I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? No, with people and things. And I appreciate when people are like that for me, or they point things out and they're like, hey, red flag, I'm seeing this. Things like that. Yeah, don't do that, Audra.
First of all, that was hypothetical. I personally would never murder anyone, because murder is wrong. Unless you are talking about already committed crimes and you're doing a make-up murder mystery or a crew crime. Is that how she says it? Crew crime? True. Better Off Red. Is it crew crime? She does true crime, but she doesn't call it true crime.
Yeah, she calls it something else so that it can be monetized, right?
I don't know.
Or is that just her thing? I'm subscribed to her, but I don't watch her all the time. It's bad.
I like her crime videos. It's so fun. Here's the thing. If you want to learn about like doing really bomb-ass transitions, she's a good person to watch. Mm-hmm. Because she really like tricks you into like, crew crime is right.
Oh, okay. Someone knows the answer. Thank you, Emily.
Because I was like, is it crew crime? No, her, like, I love watching that. And so for her last one that she did was on Scott Peterson, which I'm in a weird camp where I don't believe he murdered her. I know people get like very upset about it, but I'm like, I don't think he did it. It's fine. I think he was a douchebag, and I feel like he was very much convicted of being a douchebag, but I don't feel like there was enough to convict him of murder without a shadow of a doubt. And that's just me. I didn't feel like it was a slam dunk case. So
you're like, don't hate me. It's just my feelings. Don't get
mad at me. But I'm like, please don't get mad. But that's the thing. If you watch a lot of crime dramas, like documentaries and stuff, you begin to realize like how there are cases where there was like especially when you watch Forensic Files, there's like so much evidence and like all this stuff that they did. And then it's like there was like nothing tying him to this whole thing, and I was like, but like, I'm confused. So yeah, that's why Bailey, She is not monetized. She actually usually has sponsors for those Monday videos.
Mm-hmm.
She normally has sponsors. I think she has like a phone case and also those
There's something else.
how to catch a murderer, catch a murderer, something like
Oh,
that.
my husband and I do that. We have that series. I flippin' love that. We're working on it with my in-laws. It's fun.
I think about that sometimes, but then I'm like, I'll never go to bed, so like I don't do it.
Oh, you become obsessed and you overthink things, and then when you realize what the answer is to that portion or who it is that you're like, oh, it was right there in my face the whole time. Can we make it more complicated, please?
Yeah, no, I'm like, no crime. Like, because I already, so here's my life. I already watch, and like, I watch an enormous amount of horror, as everyone knows. And then I watch forensic files,
Oh, yes.
like
Yes.
all the time. Last night, The Babysitter Part 2 was on. It was called Babysitter 2 Killer Queen. It was all right. It wasn't as good as the original like The Babysitter, which it's another horror film. But but it's fun. It's a funny one. You could watch that one.
I could watch that one. Okay,
Yeah.
you have to understand that I get scared watching the Poltergeist. So
Oh no, then it's not in that realm. It's not even there.
Okay,
It's not the
okay.
like this is so everybody like people who don't like horror and like please like watch comedy horror. Like you'll have such a good
I
time.
love the Scream movies because they make me laugh because they're
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah, you know, like the
That
Scream
I can
3
do.
gave like mad Scooby-Doo vibes. Did you ever like
Yes.
if you pay attention to it,
Yes.
it's like but like
Like that I can handle. I can't handle like my husband loves the Annabelle movies. I can't watch those. He watched The Nun. I was like, there's no way.
oh, the Nun's not even scary.
I don't I know like, people say this, but I get so scared so easily. Like, I'm born in October. You'd think I love everything Halloween and like going to haunted houses and all of that. Nope, nope. Mm-mm.
I'm already living like this is why I got like more and more stiletto nails because I'm living my best creepy bitch life. I was wearing like such a badass outfit today and then I was like trying to take pictures of it. It didn't go well. And I have one up on my stories of me like damn near dying and I'm like
Oh my God.
I feel like it was like 5, 4. It's like doing the countdown.
Oh,
I'm like, I'm
gosh.
falling. So I have that.
Yeah, don't kill yourself.
For a picture, I know. Like, how embarrassing. And like a selfie alone
Oh my
on a
gosh.
timer. But like, if you don't like horror, then horror comedy is for you. So you would enjoy Tucker and Dale versus Evil. You would probably enjoy The Babysitter. And Shaun of the Dead you would probably like,
Oh, I've
unless
seen
you don't
Shaun
like
of the Dead.
zombies. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
28 Days Later is not really good for you if you like get frightened, because that one, like, and because like the 28 Days Later and the 28 Weeks Later, also don't watch The Collector or The Collection. That will not be good for your soul. All right. You won't be like, if you don't like Poltergeist, if you watch those, you wouldn't sleep for weeks. So I don't want that for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I already have sleeping issues. I don't need more.
Thank you. But definitely watch Tucker and Dale. Zombieland you can watch. Viv, mwah, I love you so much. Claude and hilarious. I really want to keep that now.
Yeah. That should be like a tag or something.
Yeah, thank you. I've started getting my creepy nails on. I think I put these on yesterday. What else? Like, I'm trying to think of what other creepy horror, like not creepy, not like funny horror movies that you can watch. You could probably watch, what is that movie called? Like, it was horrible. I didn't like it, but I'm like, watch this movie that was horrible. But
it was awful. You should watch it. But sometimes movies that are horrible are kind of funny to watch later on. Like you watch it once, you're like, I'm never gonna watch this again, and then you watch it
there's
again.
so many awful horror movies that I watch. Like it's unreal how many of them. Because I watch even to do my Terror Tuesdays, I will go through several horror films to watch to decide like if I'm going to do a reenactment or what I'm going to do this week. So there's a lot of awful horror I get through, and then I'm just like there's one that I think I'm probably going to talk about this. It's a movie called The Host and why it sucks. But anyways, it does suck. My feelings are like, I'm like, this was, and it was sucky for unreasonable, like it just didn't have to be sucky. Claude and hilarious.
Yes, write that shit down.
Like I was writing it down. I was like looking for a pen this whole time. I was like, Claude and hilarious.
So I have a problem with jump scares. So if there's jump scares, I freak out. Like there's a reason I can't go to haunted houses because I've literally gotten kicked out for punching the people who are scaring me. I had an employee one time think it was hilarious to jump out and scare me, and I ended up kicking him in the balls so hard because that's my gut reaction. And afterwards I felt so bad. I was like, I told you not to scare me. I don't do well with it. So that
I'm just picturing this poor fellow like coughing up his testicles.
I felt so bad because he was like the sweetest guy ever. And he thought it would be hilarious to jump out. And I was like, don't ever do that again. Don't ever. And I'm like, it's on camera somewhere. Joanne's has it somewhere. Like, we were getting ready to leave and everything. And I was like, where the fuck did he go?
Oh my God. So I'm the same way, but it's not. Here's the thing. It is not because of jump scares. I don't like being randomly touched. Listen, my poor little cousin today, I felt so bad for him because I don't know why this kid is so sneaky. He's like 5 years old. He's so sneaky. He like keeps sneaking up on me and trying to give me hugs. And every time he rolled up on me, he was just like, and he touches like a little feather, like a little butterfly. So I wasn't really realizing he was touching me. And then he says something like, "Dog, kid, what the fuck?" Like this poor child. I'm like damaging him by all my jumping. I'm like, stop sneaking up on me. Like
oh my gosh.
Like 3 times.
Just noticed my friend Brittany's in the chat and she's like, she punches hard too. And I'm like, I've punched you.
I've heard.
I do. I grew up with 2 brothers though, so I had to fend for myself.
Okay, but honey, if you have not seen all of the Hell House movies, that shit is scary. And you don't think it's gonna be scary. Like you think it's just gonna be another bullshit found footage, like in the line of like Blair Witch. This is scary. Like the second one's okay. It's this the first one, the second one's like and the third one's like ah. So that's like my ratings.
I like the ratings for those.
So they were all very like I was like ah. So those are movies like those 3. I still honestly don't watch those at night. Like if it's dark, I won't watch them in the dark because there are things that happen in that creep me out so bad that I'm just like I don't like being in the darkness after I watch it.
Nope.
I'm like, no, thank you. So wait, your birthday's coming up then soon.
It is. It'll be October 8th. So I will be 32. Yeah.
So what are you doing for your birthday this year? Staying inside like everybody?
Well, my husband's like, oh, we'll order in food. And then the weekend of my birthday, which I usually make a big deal about because I like it, is my brother-in-law's wedding. So, yes. It'll be interesting. I'm curious to see how they do everything because like how we had to do wedding stuff, and it'll be interesting.
Interesting scheduling. Night, Joylyn. Is it Joylyn? Oh my God. I just like looked at how cute your picture is. My goodness. Sorry, I don't know where that comes from. Yeah, all 3 Hell Houses. Okay, so I know they're all on Shudder. I gotta see if they're on any other streaming service because I know. Oh, Gigi, yeah, watch my soul attack. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. So October 8th. I need to write that down as well.
Oh
I know
gosh.
people listen. I do what I want. Well, I'm trying to have like people's birthdays because I'm trying to like be more mindful of it because I feel like for years I've been terrible about being mindful of my friends' birthdays and all of that stuff. I feel like I'm always like 3 days late. I'm like, hey, happy belated birthday. Like every time. And it was like, so sorry, it's 3 days behind. Here's the present. Like, I don't know why I became a weird New Yorker over it, but like.
It fits the situation. No, I am so bad about like remembering birthdays and anniversaries. Like I told my husband, I'm like, don't be surprised if I forget our 1 year. Like it'll be like a normal day. I'm like, sorry. I'm trying to be loving, I swear. I'm so mad. Romance? What is that?
I know. Like, I'm very romantic. Hush, give me 10. 10 and we'll be good. I am very romantic, but it's like on my terms. Obviously. Super tourist bullshit. But so I have a question for you before we go, because I'm gonna have to take this dude out to like go again. What is your favorite skincare item that you're using right now?
My favorite one that I'm using right now is the Ordinary AHA and BHA, that like peel. I love
Oh,
that stuff. I
ah,
love it.
see, and I'm using like a different one from like Korean Beauty, and I
Ooh.
like that. Anything
I
else?
I'm also, what's the other thing I'm using? What is that?
Ew.
I like so I use the CeraVe, um, the really thick cream moisturizer at
Mhm.
night because my skin has been getting super dried out. And that has been
Yeah.
really, I love that. And I also love putting rosehip oil over the top of it. I don't know.
Yes.
It's just been my thing.
Listen, this is like I'm going through so many like breakout issues on various
Yep.
because like the
Feel
seasons are
that.
starting to change and like all my skin is just getting like angry. So it's like I have facial oil on today. One of them was one that I didn't declutter, so I was like, use this shit, go girl. Um, but tell everyone where they can find you before we leave.
Oh, so here on YouTube, it's just Danielle Perry. On Twitter, it's Playfully Butte because somebody took Playfully Beautiful. It's Playfully Butte 2. And then on Instagram, it's Playfully Beautiful 88. So,
Oh, yay. So, y'all, if you don't, please go over, check out our channel, check her out on socials. I hope you all enjoyed this. I'm so sorry we have to leave earlier than I had anticipated, but Bo is up to some shit like he is, and he's got a tinkle. So, I'm going to take him to do that. I thank all of you. And until next time, be safe, be kind. It costs $0 to be kind, and it's so good for your soul. Deuces.